아가 생길 기다. 꼭 버티낼 기다. 반드시 헤쳐나갈 기다.
To have this on behalf of Pachinko, I'm so honored by all this beautiful place and beautiful people. It can give them an opportunity to find their identity by watching the Pachinko. Because for me, I could rethink about myself more deeply when I was doing the performance.
If you had told me 5 years ago that I would be standing here accepting an award for an all-Korean Japanese language show, I wouldn't have believed it. So it's an incredible honor. It's based on this gorgeous book, and it felt like a story that had to have been told about a Korean family that moves to Japan. And yet, my family didn't move to Japan, they're from Korea. But I still recognize so many of the universal themes, and especially as a Korean American and an immigrant child myself. This was my grandmother, this was my mother, this was my grandparent. You know, you just felt like you knew them at the core. And what I love about it, it is Korean, but it's universal as well. And so it felt like this amazing opportunity to do a really, truly global show. The challenges of doing a show in 3 different countries with 3 different languages with a cast of 680 people, 92% of them that didn't speak English. It really was through the blood, sweat, and tears of some people who believed in it.
I think it's just incredible to be a kid maybe, and you see that on stage and you see that on screen, and suddenly it normalizes representation. So to me, it's Pachinko, it's all of the impact and cultural impact that these stories have woven for us, and being able to celebrate them is an immense honor.
I think it's just amazing because it's representing Asians, and it's just so cool because Asians are getting more recognized now. There's Pachinko and people are seeing Asians more. It's amazing.
I think being part of a show that affects our community and makes people within our community feel like they're reflected in some way, whether it's their history, whether it's something that's personal going on for them, whether it's an opportunity for them to learn something about their culture or their past to inform them of the present, it's meaningful to get to do art like that.
To now be in a moment in time where there's so much activity, so much momentum, so much visibility, it is just amazing for the world to know all of these wonderful, talented, and creative people.
So my grandmother helped me. We had a lot of conversation about her own stories doing the research for this show. But at that time, I kind of couldn't understand. I mean, why she kept talking about it. But now I get it. So we have to keep that in mind and then move on, and we can do better for our next generation and next generation and for our current generation too. I just hope the audience to take it away from Pachinko, that they can think about themselves by watching it, and they can think about the generations. They can also think about how can we continue our conversation between the generations, which is so important.
Through making this, I got to ask my mom so many questions. When you learn about the story of white rice, you just all of a sudden feel really humble. It was so important to her, and that was really moving. This is the first show where she was like, what are you filming today? Like, which actors are performing? Is Minho really in your show? I think what it did is it gave us a different language. I think a lot of Asians, we just don't talk about it because there's a lot of trauma there. And it's amazing how something like entertainment can break open those doors. It allows that conversation to happen.